2, or how to use Grid 2 and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you how I use Clique and Grid 2 to heal with today. Okay. The first thing you need to know is the slash commands for both of these. Well, you really don't need the one for Clique, but you're gonna need to know the slash command for Grid 2. So you want to hit on game. You want to hit enter / grid 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 2 space options. Okay. I can't. I could bring it up and show it to you, but yeah, it means I have to delete everything else. But that's what you have to do. / Grid 2 options. Okay. Space options. And that's gonna bring up Grid 2 for you. From here, you can do anything you want to do. Layout settings for raids and stuff. If you want to anchor it, border. As you can see, I really don't have a border. Mine's pretty well grayed out. The spacing in between the blocks on my grid. Hey, what's up? What's up, FF? I'm doing a video on Grid 2. The padding, which I have mine turned way down, so it makes my boxes closer next to each other. Padding just means that the boxes will be further away from each other. And you can change the scale. Layouts here, when you're by yourself, you can still have it up. Solo with your pet. Arena, by group of 5 pets. 15 raid layout, which doesn't exist anymore. Or, well, it does, but that's Warsong Gulch and, yeah, stuff like that. 25-man layout, if you want to change it to 40. By group 40. That way if somebody has people in group way out in the middle of nowhere. I usually like to keep mine to 20. And then your big battleground layouts, your AV and your Isle of Conquest, you want them set to 40 usually. That way you can see everyone. Let's see here. What else we got here? The actual frame of the icons. That can also be changed here. Now here's where you go for all your statuses and stuff like this. Now this is what appears on your grid. This shows me if somebody has a buff, if they're mind controlled or anything like that. See if they have any. You want to make sure that they're all. You can change the colors of them. If they have a debuff, all the different, and then these are all different colors for all the different debuffs. When people are feigning death. Heals incoming, which you'll see my bar when let's say I'm at 50% health. Let's see here, for instance. Let's see if I can do it. Let's go to my bags and take all this shit off. See if we can't do it. Here we go. Here we go. We'll take off like all this stuff that has like stamina on it, and then we'll re-equip it, and I'll show you what I mean. See, I'm at now as I go to heal. See how it lights up green? Means that estimates how much incoming healing I have. So that's pretty cool. We get down here to location as well. This is where you want where you want your stuff to light up at. Now, as you notice, I just put regrowth on myself, and that is at the top middle. My rejuve is on the right. My life bloom is on the left, and wild growth is that box. When that lights up, that's wild growth. So as you can see, I'm tracking all 4 hots right here on my grid. Great for Resto Druids who use timers. Here you go. You can move them around. You can assign different stuff to them. I'm not sure what Blink really does, but it's great. It's a great setup to have. You can change. Yeah, here's where you change the life bloom. When you have one stack, or when you have one stack, it's no wait. One stack is this darkish green, 2 stacks is a middle green, and 3 stacks is more of a white. So you can even count the stacks up there. Wild or regrowth. It shows you where it's. There you go. Layer Druid, Rejuve. You can change all these colors. Buff thorns, which I don't think thorns really matters. I don't think there is. Oh, it takes away the little box down there, the little empty box. But if you still wild growth yourself, it will reappear. And that's about it for Grid 2, guys. I mean, it's pretty well set up by the time you get it. Doesn't need too much tinkering. I'd say the only thing you need tinkered with would be the boxes. See how you want them. And you can change the colors on it. You don't have to use class colors. You can use whatever colors you want. It's very similar to Grid 2 in a lot of ways. So if you're familiar with Grid 1, You'll be familiar with Grid 2. I think I just said it's familiar with Grid 2. But let's get to Clique. This is the other main thing you're going to need for healing, and what I love to use. Excuse me. A lot of this stuff is bound to my Naga. If you have a normal mouse, it's fine. Like I had a 5-button mouse back in retail. I had 2 buttons on the top, and then my mouse wheel, and left and right click, obviously, on the mouse. And that's all I really used, and that's all I still really use to this day with my Naga. But as you can see here, I have shift left. What you want to do is, let's say for instance, you want to go, let's say you want dash macro on your mouse or something like that. What this does is make sure you have Clique open, and you're going to hover over anything you want. Now it's going to go, let's use Alt middle wheel. So I added Alt middle wheel to dash. There you go, Alt middle button right there. That is my dash now. And you can use Alt, Shift, Control. You can use all 3 of these down here by your mouse, or down by your WASD keys where you're moving and stuff, to really make a lot more macros or a lot more things happen. Let's go ahead and delete that though. I don't use that. I use my Naga for that. But you want to just hover over whatever you want to have as your healing, and you can shift click. You can just normal click. I wouldn't suggest using right or left clicks because you'll be using those a lot to like move around, pan around, and move your character like this. While you're basically free, walking around. You don't want to be casting heals while you're trying to move. So I would not suggest that unless you don't use your left or right mouse buttons for anything. Then sure, yeah, go for it. But I wouldn't suggest using them for anything to do with Clique. But all you have to do is hover over the button and basically just set it to whatever you want. And then you can go in here and you can delete it, remove it. You can set the custom. You can change the options. There's a lot of stuff you can do with Clique too. But I usually this is where all my healing gets done at. With all my healing spells are basically here. The only healing spell I really don't have bound is down here, Tranquility, which you guys know I use my Naga for. On my Naga, I hit 10. Right, I don't know if it's going to be able to see, but I hit 10 here and 1 right here, and that procs my GTS first, and then I come up here and hit Tranquility. So it's a 2-button macro to do it. It would be a 2-button macro no matter how you did it. But that's the only healing spell I do not have bound, just because it requires a 2-button press. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, Grid 2's, it usually comes pretty well set up, ready to rock and roll. I'll show you the same thing on my Shaman real quick here. Oh my god. I gotta log out. No, the title's wrong. We're not at Lich King. We're not raiding right now. Although we are raiding on later on today. We're not at Lich King. I'm just screwing around. So I'm going to do one of this video from my Druid guide on Grid and stuff like that. So I figured I'd go ahead and do this little instructional video. Alright, let's get at my Shaman real quick here. And I did not set up a thing. The only thing that I set up for my Grid personally was I moved the boxes around. I got rid of the annoying background border, or the border around this little gray thing you see here, and I changed the spacing between players' names and their little boxes. Now my Shaman has about the same thing. There's Earth Shield. It comes with a little white tick up here in the top. Water Shield does not, because obviously it's not a heal. Grid usually only tracks your heals or debuffs. That's what it's great for. Lesser Healing Wave, it's tracking on me. It's tracking my Earth Living is up there in the left hand. So that's my Earth Living. See that little proc going off? That's Earth Living up in the top left corner. Let's do Riptide. Riptide is also tracked in the top right corner. So you might get a little confused on who's got Riptide on them or not. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to really track with Shamans because they really don't have any buffs or anything. But as you can see, like I said, it does track things a little differently. You could change that. I just prefer to keep it default. I usually know, what's going on and how it's going on. So, but yeah, that's how you set up Grid and Clique. Same way with my Shaman here. I'll pull that up. My Shaman really doesn't have too much bound because there's not too much to bind to a Shaman. Riptide and Earth Shield, Cleanse Spirit, Lesser, Chain, and Healing Wave. The only things I really have bound. Other than that, like I said, with PvE, you really don't have to have too much bound. My Water Shield, my Nature Swiftness, my Tidal Force is all bound to my Naga. As you can see here, I can sit here and spam all day long. And my mouse, I know I don't have it on the stream, but I'll like hover over my name on my. So yeah, I'm nowhere near pressing it on my buttons. Besides, if I could click that fast, that'd be amazing. But anyways, guys, that's how you set those up. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna be working on the guild video this morning and playing